throw a few questions your way. And as Kutera is a RAS-based system, or runs a RAS-based system, and it was interesting to note on the website the origin of the name, which I didn't know. But Kutala means salmon in the language of the Namgis people, and Terra means land, and so Kutera then means salmon from the land, which was interesting to note from your website. So as your company, Tim, is engaged in land-based salmon farming, what are some of the top of mind issues facing the RAS industry?
The biggest one, I think, is staff. Trying to get talented, knowledgeable staff to maintain these systems. It's a living machine, essentially, and always use the analogy of a baby or a child, and you want it to grow fast and healthy, so you feed it really well, but if you don't change its diaper, you could have issues. So these systems are high technology monitoring and control system, but you need staff that can actually see, watch the feed, watch the fish feeding, and recognize that maybe there's an area in the biofilter that has, you know, trapped effluent, and it causes issues. So that's what I see as one of the problems is, you know, knowledgeable staff. I guess over time we will be training and have more people as RAS develops. And to add to Matt's, one of the things I see in the NetPens, and we will see it in RAS as well, is the feed systems with the remote control cameras that watch the feed as it's, watch the fish feeding and watch the feed as it's floating down, and can control how much feed actually escapes or it hits the bottom by actually watching it with these cameras. I've seen that on a number of NetPens that I've visited, and that's interesting. The other thing with RAS is Kutera, we just developed the maintenance software fix system. So just maintaining the equipment and staying on top of preventative maintenance is another one of the key costs. So we're, instead of reactive, we're actually doing preventative maintenance now. Those are a few of the things. And oxygen obviously is one of the key components. So maintaining that equipment and even the control panels that actually monitor and control the oxygen going into the systems. We're getting improvements on that every day. One of the reasons I'm in the industry is because there's never a best solution. It's always always can be improved on. So it's exciting that way.
Great, and we'll talk a little bit more about oxygen specifically in a few minutes. But you know, and you know, Labardo and Matt, feel free to jump in as well. But you know, every industry has been impacted by the global pandemic that we're in, obviously, and I'm sure fish farming is no exception. So where economic pressures have always been present prior, the pandemic has created even further pressure on all companies to find ways to improve efficiencies, to save costs and protect profits. And so with that in mind, Tim, can you describe some of the advancements in the RAS systems that you're seeing that are making systems more efficient and operations therefore more profitable?
The diffusion of oxygen is going to be one of the keys. That's one of our bigger costs. And software, again, manage the feed systems. Again, you just take your budget and your highest cost, and if you can shave 1% off of those, you're going in the right direction. So those are two of our bigger costs. So yeah, as we see technology getting better and better on these equipment, we start implementing them, and it is all R&D.
Great, Matt. Do you have thoughts on ways in which your systems are becoming more efficient?
Yeah, well, again, on the NetPen side of things, it's a big focus of our research and development. We've looked at, as I mentioned earlier, aeration and oxygenation are two big energy consuming, you know, for some NetPen operations, their aeration consumes more fuel than anything else they're doing. And so energy efficiency is, there's a there's a huge opportunity to improve the overall operating costs as well as improve that sustainability aspect of the operations by improving their energy consumption. And it's one of the things that, frankly, one of the benefits we've been able to deliver to customers on both aeration and oxygenation is significant energy savings. And that's, on the aeration system, that's through our own technologies of the flow pressure compressor systems that we've developed. But on oxygenation, that's through, through our partnership with you guys, Chris, with OSI, being able to, deliver in many cases a 30% energy improvement over traditional systems. A lot of, especially at scale, at NetPen scale operations, those numbers can be almost shocking. When you really, you look at the capital investment of the equipment is nothing to overlook. But when you start putting that in terms of the overall operating cost of the equipment, and then allowing it to connecting that back into your overall business analytics and realizing just how much of a value that can provide to operations, both in lowering the cost of production. Salmon prices in particular are down around the world, and lockdowns and shut-ins are hurting restaurant industries, and so all of our customers are facing that problem, and that problem really we look at it as something that we should be focused on trying to solve. We can help them with that problem. It's going to get good for the industry. So our big focus when it comes to life support systems on both sides is energy efficiency, and at the same time we're quite excited about the fact that there is the improvements are there. I mean, we don't so often when we're fighting for energy efficiency in other industries, it's a big deal to achieve 5%, 7%, 10% is headline news. While for NetPen operations, we're routinely delivering 20, 30, and in some cases more than 50% energy savings, which, and then you factor in the reality that most farms aren't running off grid power. Most farms around the world are relying upon diesel as their energy. That efficiency becomes just, you don't even have the luxury of being on a renewable resource like we're so lucky to have here in Canada, where we have so much clean electricity. Even with the clean electricity in our backyard, these operations don't have access to it. So it's a big deal, and it translates directly into cost savings for the customer, translates into better outcomes for the environment, which is good for all of us. And it translates into, long term, it's going to translate into making healthy protein more affordable to everybody, which is good for everyone.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that, Matt and Tim, both of you.